Alrighty, welcome to another shaving demo. I just heated up the face cloth. Nice and hot. Moisturize. There we go. Nice and hot, moist towel. It's actually a face cloth, but I remember flying on airplanes, probably not Air Canada because they don't do anything for you, but I flew on many different airlines, and sometimes they would pass out the hot face cloths before landing to refresh people. And I must say, they were probably full of bacteria, but they sure were nice. Alrighty, I still do not have the elusive shaving brush, so I'm just mixing up this gel the old-fashioned way. You may notice I'm wearing a bathrobe. This was a Christmas present. It's extremely soft, very comfortable. So I don't usually have cause to wear a bathrobe, but I guess I'll start wearing it more often now, so you might see it show up in future shaving videos. Of course, I'm getting shaving cream on it, so I get shaving cream and water on my shirts whenever I do a shaving video. Last time I didn't because I didn't wear a shirt, as you may have noticed, but for the sake of the video, I kind of feel half obligated to wear a shirt. Got my razor blade, 2 fingers. Pigeons are extremely savage lately. There was 9 out there on the patio today. I fed them, there was 6, and then when I turned back there was a 7th. I generally don't feed them if there are more than 3. If they're like little dogs now, they come to the window and beg. And I'm a bit of a softie, especially with non-humans. So I fed them, and that was several hours ago, and now they're out there begging again. Of course they are, because instead of 2 or 3 sharing the food, now there are 7 or 9 sharing the food. So although the dominant ones get most of the food, they're probably not getting as much as they used to. So they're out there demanding more, which they're not going to get. Sadly, I'm going to have to cut them off for a few days and hope some of these birds disappear. And it's going to be tough for me because I'm going to want to feed them. But in reality, I probably shouldn't be feeding them anyway. I suspect it would make my neighbors happy if I didn't feed them. reminds me of a story I heard about a guy who was in India and he saw some monkeys. He thought they were very cute, so he had some sort of cookies. And he decided he wanted to, you know, feed the monkeys. And the locals got very upset and said, "Don't feed the monkeys, don't feed the monkeys." So of course this guy ignored that and fed the monkeys. And he fed one monkey, and then a swarm of monkeys came down and stole the box of cookies and basically went to war over the cookies, and it wasn't a pleasant sight, and the guy regretted feeding them. So you shouldn't feed wild animals. But sadly, excuse me, wild animals really don't have a place in human society and in cities. So the fact that pigeons are in the city is probably not good for the pigeons anyway. And there's really nothing you can do about that now, because there probably are wild pigeons out there in the woods somewhere, but I would say most of the pigeons are city-dwelling pigeons, and especially here because they're not indigenous to this area, and they were brought here from England probably 200 years ago or so. And they are only in the city, so, or in the cities, I should say, and some of the towns. They're spreading throughout the province. I don't think they're on the west coast yet, but I remember when I was in university, a lot of the so-called baymen, I'm a so-called townie, and the so-called baymen, anybody not from town, never seen pigeons before. And of course, I learned this in university because prior to that, I didn't really have any experience around baymen. So when I was in university and I started to meet some of these baymen, none of them had seen pigeons before, which I found very interesting. And then I later learned about pigeons and starlings. There are huge swarms of starlings flying around town. And I think that the baymen also never saw starlings before, because starlings also were imported from England probably 200 years ago as well, around there. More than 100, probably less than 200. Or maybe around 200, I don't know. Yeah, it was, I would say less, but probably 180 years ago. And same with swans. Actually, the swans here were a gift from, I don't know which monarch. I don't think it was Queen Elizabeth II. I think it was probably whoever her predecessor was, but might have been a long time ago. But anyway, the swans were a gift from one of the queens or kings. But the swans are also spreading throughout the province, because whenever the swans have chicks, when they grow up and are able to care for themselves, I guess, they get sent to other parks throughout the province. So there's usually only 2 swans and sometimes some baby swans. I don't know what they're called. I used to. I don't think they're goslings. I think they have a different name. cygnets or something, aren't they? Baby swans are cygnets, I think. Anyway, I'm gonna call them cygnets. Little homework project, you can look that up yourself. But anyway, that's it, a little bird lore. There used to be giant crows here, but they killed them all. And St. Pierre, when I went there in high school, they have, or at least they used to have, they probably still have, a stuffed giant crow. I think it was the last giant crow that was killed. And it's huge. It's like a turkey. But of course they hunted those to extinction like they did the Newfoundland wolf, sadly. And because the Newfoundland wolf has been wiped out, coyotes managed to get a foothold on the island, and now the island's overrun with coyotes. There's a lot of foxes here too. I think there were always foxes here, but since the wolf's been exterminated, the fox population's a lot higher. And sadly, the Newfoundland marten is endangered. The Newfoundland pony was endangered, but I think through great efforts of lovers of the Newfoundland pony, I think they have a healthier relationship now. I don't know how healthy, but most of them are down in America somewhere. And of course the Newfoundland dog is healthy population, and the Labrador Retriever, of course, they're everywhere. I think there's another Newfoundland breed of dog, but I can't remember what it is. Anyway, there's my shaving story, birds and beasts of Newfoundland. We have lots of moose here, of course. They were brought over back in, I think, the 1940s. There were 2 groups brought over, 8, I think. 2 males and 6 females were originally brought over. They thought they had all died out, so they brought another 8, I think. But recently they tested the DNA of the moose over here and discovered that the DNA is from both groups that were brought here. So the first group weren't actually dead. They just eluded hunters. Nobody knew they were here. But now we know. Anyway, till next time, who loves you, baby? Hasta la vista. Any comments, any questions down below, please. And take care. Love you. Talk soon. Well, when I say talk, I mean I'll put up more videos. You can comment if you wish.